Next up, we take on a tough midwinter walleye bite. While the bite can get tough in those January and February timeframes, there are tips and tricks that can help you have a great day on the ice, and we reveal some of those tactics today. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Lindy Fishing Tackle and L&M Fleet Supply. Come on, there he is, got him. Man, I'll tell you what, that fish was around for a little while. Up, down, up, down. Oh yeah, good eye, look at that. Good way to start. Look at that, not a giant, but you know what he is? Great eater size fish. Here's the deal though, this fish was up and down on me, and I was just having a devil of a time getting him to bite. We finally got him to do it. Good eater size, 14-inch walleye to start. We're gonna keep a few today, so I'm gonna drop him in the pail. But you know, when I came out here today, I was planning on doing a show talking about midwinter walleye tactics. Places to go, things to look for. And I'm gonna tell you, I kind of changed my mind here this morning as I got started, and I'll tell you why. This bite is hard. So what we're gonna talk about instead is we're gonna talk about tactics to try to get fish to bite when they're off. Because one of the things that I can tell you is right now, presentation is everything. Because here's the thing, there's plenty of fish here, but it's all about presentation. It's about things like how are you working your bait? How are you choosing your bait? Where are you setting that bait? Where in the water column are you working? And that's all the stuff we're gonna talk about, because we've all been faced with this situation where you're watching them on your sonar, they're everywhere you look, but you can't get them to bite. Today, we're gonna find a way to get them to bite, and that's a good start right there. It's midwinter, and Mother Nature's deep freeze has made for a tough bite across the ice belt. Light conditions are low with overcast skies and temps in the low teens. We're fishing basin areas in 27 feet of water, with primary baits being 1/8 ounce Lindy Rattling flyer spoons in various colors, red glow being the best. Dead sticks with tungsten toads are getting in on the action as well. Today's tuned up custom rod choices are a 32-inch precision for the jig stick and a 32-inch fusion as a dead stick. Ooh, look at that. That fish, I thought he was gonna grab the jig stick, and he smoked that float. I thought sure he was gonna end up on my jig rod. Got him, oh boy. You know what? This feels like a good fish. This feels like a really good fish. Yeah, you can tell he's a good fish. You can see him coming up on Mega Live. When they're that big a blob coming up, it's usually a pretty good one. Let's see what we got. Wow, good fish. Look at that. Look at that one. That is good stuff. That right there is why that dead stick, though, is so important. That fish right there, he swam right past this Rattling flyer spoon setup. I thought sure he was going to smoke it. He swam right past it and ended up rolling right up on top of that dead stick, and he smashed it. And he took off the other way with it like a bullet. What an awesome fish. You know what? I think we'll let him go. That's dead stick 101 right there, though. That fish wasn't interested in the Rattling flyer spoon, and that's gonna happen. I think one of the coolest things about these Humminbird Mega Live units is I can actually decipher the size of the fish. We can tell if it's a bigger fish, a smaller fish. We can tell their mood, we can tell if they're on the bottom, we can tell if they're up, and we can tell that 18 feet away today as I look around the house as they're coming toward us. And that really makes it easier to be able to know exactly what I gotta do to get their attention or to make them bite while they're on their way in. The one thing I'll tell you though is when you add one of these Mega Live units to your arsenal, and any of those live units out there for that matter, you're gonna wanna add a lithium battery. And I use Amped Outdoors lithium batteries. They've built them for ice fishing. I run them in my boat too, but I'll tell you what, you just flat out can't beat the lifespan that you get out of these batteries. I'm able to actually go for days. Make sure when you add a live unit to your ice fishing arsenal that you're adding that Amped Outdoors lithium battery as well. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Look at him just hanging on it. Got him. That feels like a pretty decent fish. That one just came in and globbed on again. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about what I'm using and why I'm using it, but the big thing today is the how. Oh yeah, good eye. Look at that one. Come here, buddy. Look at that. Awesome fish. The big thing is the how. So let me show you this first. Look at that. What an awesome walleye. That is a great fish. Anywhere you go. That is just good stuff, man. Perfect fish. I mean, look at how beautiful that fish is. I mean, the color on him is just unbelievable. That is awesome. Great fish. Let me show you what it is that we're using. First off, on the dead stick, this is my standard dead stick setup. Day in and day out, I'm just using a Thill Gold metal float. Then down here on the business end, I'm just running the new number 6 tungsten toad, okay? And then I'm just hooking that minnow right under the dorsal fin. But one trick I'll give you is you can hook that minnow in different places, and that'll make a difference too. Then on the jig stick, which is actually really caught fire as the day's gone on, I'm fishing the old standby, a rattling flyer spoon. I started with this rattling quiver spoon, and I actually scared a few fish off. But let me tell you something. This rattling flyer spoon, what makes it so effective in these scenarios, and the reason I'm sticking with this one for the most part now, is because you can fish it aggressive. So when you've got a fish come in, you can't get him to bite, you can get a little bit more aggressive if he's going to get away on you. But the other thing you can do is, if I barely move it, I can just jiggle it down there, and I'm triggering a lot of these strikes by getting them in here and then having to just basically sit on them. There's another one down here. We're going to get this fish. I'm just barely moving that spoon. If I move it, they spook. There he is, got him. He just, all of a sudden, it just got heavy. There was not even a smack. There wasn't nothing. It was just all of a sudden there was some weight. And you know, that's how it can get some of these days, when it's just off. Oh yeah, another good eye. Look at that one. Come here, buddy. Good fish. Another good eater size fish. Here's what's going on. These fish are just so off, and one of the things that tells you when they're on or off is where are they coming from. There's just no doubt about it. Boy, I stuck him good. Look at that, another good eater size fish. We'll throw him in. But what happened there is I stopped jigging a foot off the bottom because I saw him so tight to the bottom. And what I did was I just dropped down and I got myself within about 4 inches of the bottom. And that's what made that fish bite. So when you have these situations, you're seeing them fish down on the bottom, go down to them and then work just above them, because they're not going to chase 2-3 feet up. Come on. Comes a different one. So I still got bait. Different fish. I think that other one's bigger, but this one doesn't feel bad either. That other one down there, he's bigger. He's on the bobber rod. We might get him too. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Awesome. Great sauger. Perfect fish. Perfect fish to finish it up. Throw him in the pail, call it a limit. I'll tell you what. But let me tell you something. Getting it dialed in, getting the cadence figured out, getting everything figured out that's gone along with this bite today has been a lot of fun. And I'll tell you what, I probably haven't caught as many fish today as I might a lot of other days, but we've put together a really nice limit of fish and caught them fairly consistently since we got everything figured out that we had to figure out. And you know what? If you put those little things together, you know, look at your depth, work on your depth, play with it, jig a little high, jig a little low, then change things up, jig a little more aggressive, jig a little less aggressive. And I'll tell you what, you work your way through all this different stuff, put different lures down there, and all of a sudden, you'll find out that you can put together a pretty doggone good day. So when you got them just coming in and looking, start working your way through those changes. pretty confident you'll end up with a bucket just like we've put together today. Closed captioning for Jon Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by L&M Fleet Supply. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors.